This week on Cartoon Dumpster Dive, we cover the cartoon KaBlam. Joel,
yes, could Andrew?
do you feel like this is like a show that should be brought back? This style of show should be brought back. Cartoon Network had What a Cartoon,
Yep.
and Nickelodeon had KaBlam. And this is what I like to call the career starter cartoon. Because this is where you get like a lot of animators who maybe they can't find the funding that they need, or they're not that well known, or whatever the reason, they make it onto a show like this, and then you watch it, and then we'll see, this is another problem. We don't have the Nielsen family thing anymore.
But we got streams and views.
We have streams, but I don't think they can. They're like, did they fast forward through this section?
Yeah.
Because I know that Netflix is they always talk about this one podcast I listen to called The Weekly Planet. They always talk about how Netflix says Red Notice is the most streamed movie of all time, but Netflix will also never show you any data, so they can just say whatever they want.
They live in an ideal world. Just say.
Because I've never seen Red Notice, and I don't really have a desire to. But this was a mega request from our Patreon request thread. This was given to us by John. He probably wants to shout out his dog. I didn't ask him.
Hey, John.
We'll say hi, John. Hello, John's father, and hello, John's dog. I also know he's got a goth girlfriend now, so
he got a goth.
Hello,
mommy?
goth girlfriend. I don't know your name either, but we hope you all enjoy us covering KaBlam. And as always, we start each episode with reviewing that theme song. Let's hit it.
Hit it.
Big up the masses.
Assume the crash position. Hold on tight. Take a deep breath for a new kind of cartoon show. And comics collide. Now to take you inside and turn the pages, here are your hosts, Henry and June.
Yeah, it takes a little too long.
Yeah, they
should have ended. It should end right after they say Henry and June.
Yeah, just go straight into the episode.
Inaccurate. This was not my favorite show. I remember watching it a lot though.
Yeah, that's it.
Ooh, we can also get 70% off at that spring summer sale. How delightful.
Yay!
So, Joel, how did KaBlam get made?
So, like you said, it's kind of like Nickelodeon's version of What a Cartoon.
This is Nickelodeon's version of What a Cartoon.
Yeah.
What a Cartoon is Cartoon Network.
Oh, yeah, that's right. But
which we'll cover that one maybe sooner rather than later.
Maybe we'll do a Patreon episode for that. Who
knows?
Now, I have read online, and this is just kind of word of mouth, as people have grown up with this, that apparently KaBlam's, let's be honest, their best show they have, Action League Now.
Really, that's what you think is the best show?
Which one you think it's the best?
I'm a Prometheus
Okay.
and Bob kind of guy.
Action League Now. That's where it's at. But
Okay,
supposedly,
we'll agree to disagree.
Action League Now actually had a little pilot episode that aired on All That
Okay.
back in, I think it was 94. If that's the case, then I'm guessing maybe people wanted some more Action League Now. But in 1995, they started creating this, and they finished it in 96. It was created by Bob Mententhal, Will McRobb, and Chris Viscardi.
Okay.
That's really it as far as the creation of the show, because it's a little bit different, because they had the idea of the show, the creation of the show, but then the series inside of each of those.
They wanted to focus on animation that was against the grain, so to
Yep.
speak, like
Not
different
your
styles,
normal.
things you would see maybe in like indie films.
Yeah. But those, and it's so weird, because I really don't know. Should we go into all the different shows?
Oh, we're gonna. So I was gonna name. So obviously we both have our favorites. I have Prometheus and Bob, and you
Action
have
League
Action
Now.
League Now. But there were so many others, and this is actually where the guy who created not Shaun of Sheep. What's that one we covered about the sheep? A Sheep in the Big City.
That's it. Yeah.
That's what this guy, the Offbeats. That's from KaBlam.
The
Of
show
course,
Sniz and Fondue, that was created by Michael Perlstein,
okay.
and it was directed by John Dilworth, who created Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh, nice. And then I also know that Angela Anaconda is in this, and she got her own spinoff, and she had that short right before the Digimon movie.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. We
Completely
also
forgot
have
about that.
Race Rabbit was produced by Scott Fellows, who also created the later show Johnny Tesh. There's The Adventures of Patchhead, who is that short is notable. Excuse me, God, I can't talk. For an early appearance by Nick Offerman.
Ooh.
Of course, we have Action League Now. We said that already. Henry and June got up to their own hijinks as well, and also, Henry and June hosted a lot of blocks outside of KaBlam.
Yes, they did.
So they also kind of had a special themselves. They had a television special called The Henry and June Show, and it was produced and aired on Nickelodeon in 1999. The first segment of the show is a show on their own, and it had Henry and June, a studio audience, and musical guests. It was never showed again after it premiered because it probably didn't do a lot of a pretty good number.
You did not watch this show for Henry and June.
No,
Let's be
you
honest.
watched it for
The show
the
you
segments.
liked.
You watched, the show
Yeah.
you liked. You were just like, I hope they play Prometheus and Bob, or I hope they play Action League Now, or that one you said with Sniz. So one thing I learned about this show, because we'll get to the cast. I'm only doing the cast of like the main three: Henry, June, and the announcer.
Okay.
But the whole media release up until just recently, when it was put on Paramount Plus, I want to say just recently, but like, I don't mean 2025. I mean when Nickelodeon started being on Paramount Plus. So getting this to any kind of DVD or VHS, because it's the 90s, was insane because it's an Image Comics situation.
Yeah.
You create it, you own it. It wasn't Nickelodeon. Nickelodeon didn't own it unless they greenlit the show.
True.
Which they never did. Although you could get one episode, Won't Crack or Peel,
Okay.
the 3D broadcast version on VHS with a promotion. It was a promotional piece with Tombstone Pizza.
Hell yeah.
It's the only, and really it's only select episodes of KaBlam. You can't watch them all.
Yeah.
It's missing like 11 episodes, but there's not a reason there's not like a censorship reason. There's just they're just not on there.
They had so many like one-shot segments.
Yeah, for sure.
So many that I can kind of imagine that it was probably hard for them to be like, oh, well, who do we gotta go to this time to get, permission to do this?
Yeah, it would have been a nice nightmare. And all right, so let's get into the cast.
Hit me with it.
So our cast, hit me with your best shot.
I'm far away.
Far away. Do we still get sued if we sing it badly?
No. That's just like karaoke, man.
How does that work with Never mind. I'm not getting into this. So the KaBlam voice cast is Noah Segan as Henry, Julia McLevane as June, and Bert Pence as the announcer.
Nice.
For their other works, we have Noah Segan is Trooper Wagner in Knives Out.
Ooh, like
So there you
like
go.
that movie.
I've never seen it. Julia McLavin. Sorry, Julia. She is Adair in the Anthem video game.
Oh,
Adair.
what a
You
flop
play
of a
Anthem?
game.
Oh, wasn't good.
It had so many good things going for it, but it just BioWare or EA just they fumbled it horribly.
And then Brett Pence is Meet the Press announcer in House of Cards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he probably he probably doesn't have the same problems Kevin Spacey has.
I would hope not.
So, I have a theory about how this show probably got made.
Okay.
This is my SNL has various animated segments.
Yep.
All that is basically kid SNL. Maybe they wanted to do animated segments, and then they saw how well Action League Now did, and they're like, well, maybe we should try to do more with these other animation things. And then possibly they saw What a Cartoon, and they were like, okay, they're doing this over at this other network, Cartoon Network, and Cartoon Network just showed up, and Ted Turner's trying to eat their lunch. He's fucking going. Ted Turner, like, I don't really know much about Ted Turner, but when it came to Cartoon Network and getting children money, he went hard in the fucking paint.
Dude, he knew where the money was at.
I mean, it's the only network that paid for ad space on the competing network to go tell you to watch the other channel.
I know you're sick and tired. I know you're sick and tired of Nickelodeon. Come on
They're
over
like,
to Cartoon Network.
They had Double D, Johnny Bravo, and Courage the Cowardly Dog sneak over to Nickelodeon and be like, "Hey, we got some cool shit on the Tech Your TV Guide and see what Cartoon Network's got."
Genius.
Honestly, I was more of a Cartoon Network kid.
I was too. Like
Yeah, Cartoon
there
Network
was
had
like
better
a couple of things on Nickelodeon that like if I'm flipping through the channels, if I see it, I'm probably gonna watch it, but that's about it.
They always have that meme of like if Cartoon Network kids and Nickelodeon kids got into a fight, who would win? Like whatever one you grew up watching, and there's always a comment. I was like, "Them Cartoon Network kids are built different."
Yes, they are.
they've been watching Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry. They're gonna fucking drop an anvil on you.
And then they watch Ed, Ed, and Eddie. Like it.
Oh yeah, we fucking them up.
Yeah,
100%. And I'll take that bet. I'll fucking throw down. Actually, you come see me, Nickelodeon kid. You come see me, and we'll throw down.
What are you gonna do? Just sit there and laugh like SpongeBob?
What are you gonna do? Learn a lesson, bitch.
I was raised on slapstick humor.
I was raised on slapstick comedy, motherfucker. I'll throw a pie in your face right before I throw a left hook.
Yeah. I'll put a cement block behind a red curtain and pull it away.
I will say though, KaBlam does have a one-up on
What a Cartoon.
What a Cartoon. When it comes to, it has less successful cartoons out of it. What a Cartoon has like, it's got some. I mean, it's big names. So hell, we could say What a Cartoon. We could cover both of them right now. But you get Powerpuff Girls, Courage the Cowardly Dog, technically Family Guy.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, What a Cartoon had proto Family Guy in it, 100%. It had Seth MacFarlane it was a fat guy who was like friggin' sweet, and then he had a dog that sounded exactly like Brian.
Was Johnny Bravo on What a Cartoon too?
I want to say Johnny Bravo was already established.
Okay.
But there are a lot of people. Johnny Bravo's a lot like Flapjack. Like a lot of people that you know and love, they worked on Johnny Bravo.
Gotcha.
What
a Cartoon was.
I don't know. KaBlam had just. There is something about Henry and June introducing the stuff and having their own segments that brings a charm to it that just What a Cartoon was just like, it just was on. It said it. Oh, Cow and Chicken. That's another successful story from What a Cartoon. And I think also that's why nothing really launched off of KaBlam. It's because it had too much personality. And I think Nickelodeon focused on Henry and June more than they did the actual products that kids were watching. Because like you said, nobody's watching this for Henry and June. They're watching it for the segment of their choice.
Yeah.
But they were like, no, the kids really want Henry and June.
I think that was, it seems like people I talk to that remember KaBlam, it is like you had your one segment that was, hey, this is why I watch this show.
Right. But
then there was like no other segment that you really cared about.
Mm-mm. I loved Prometheus and Bob. In fact, I wasn't the only one, Joel.
Oh, I'm sure you wasn't.
In 1998, a live-action Prometheus and Bob film was announced with Harold Zwart to direct, Amy Heckling, and Twink Kaplan producing, and Joe Stillman as a screenwriter. It was going to star Chris Farley and David Spade as Prometheus and Bob.
That actually would have been good.
No, they were considered. They were considered. But Chris Farley died.
Yeah.
And a lot of it got scrapped. But there are aspects of the Prometheus and Bob movie in Jack Black's Gulliver's Travels.
Really?
I've never seen this movie. I've seen clips, but I'm curious just to see what parts of Prometheus and Bob are
Was
being
in it?
reused in Gulliver's Travels. And I wonder if I'm like, because I was such a fan of Prometheus and Bob, if I could be like,
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how they bridge those two. Like, if they had kind of a script together.
you got me. Gulliver's Travel, that movie came out in 2010. So that's
They
like
was just sitting-
almost a 20-year gap between those movies. So I can't imagine much.
They was
Now-
just sitting on that script for so long.
What else you gonna do with it? I mean, you could definitely try to make a Prometheus and Bob movie now, today.
Would you do it live action, or would you keep it
Oh,
kind
of
of the
course.
animation?
Well, I don't know. That's a tough one. I want to say, oh, that's tough. That's
Yeah.
really tough because it's like I also don't know who I would pick to be Prometheus and Bob with today's. And I'm tired of seeing Jack Black, so definitely not Jack Black.
I know. Got it. Adam Sandler and Kevin James.
I thought that too. I did think that, but are you going to have? You're going to have Adam Sandler be Prometheus?
Yeah, he wouldn't do a good. You could
He
probably
wouldn't do a
get
good
David
job.
Spade.
Oh, I know who.
Who?
You get Neil deGrasse Tyson to be Prometheus, and you get Joe Rogan to be Bob.
That actually, it would probably be terrible, but
No, but it would be awesome at the same time.
I think it would, it's so bad it's good kind of thing.
Mhm.
I think
Oh,
that would be it. It would be so bad, but at the same time,
There you go, producers. Prometheus and Bob movie, live action or animated.
I would-
because Neil
With
deGrasse
that
Tyson
cast-
has done voice work, so he could do it.
with that cast, I would want to see it live action. What are you
Oh
talking
yeah,
about?
me too. Joe Rogan already looks like a caveman.
I know, so it's perfect.
Oh, it
it's
would be
easy.
perfect.
You just
Oh,
cover up his tattoos. There you go.
Yeah. All you gotta do is make Neil deGrasse Tyson purple.
Not that hard.
Not that hard. Not hard to turn man purple.
No,
Look
no,
at Josh
I've
Brolin.
done it.
We
I've
made
done
him
it before.
Thanos like that. Pun
Just
intended
bam.
with the snap.
Oh, yes.
So, as I said earlier, Joel, this show is on Paramount Plus.
okay.
That is not, in my opinion, the best way to watch this show.
What is?
You find the segment that you like and you type it in on YouTube, and then you type in the word compilation and you watch
Yes.
that. That's-
Yep.
Because let's face it, not all of these are winners.
Oh,
You're not
no.
going to like all of them. And honestly, you don't want to sift through the shit to get to your nugget of gold.
There,
So
there
just
was
for you would type in Action League Now compilation, and I would type in Prometheus and Bob and you know what? They got them on there. There's absolutely no way they're going to copyright strike them unless it's the creator of those respective series, and that's it.
Action League Now inspired me and my brothers to make our own form of action figure like episodes.
Who was your favorite? I remember the only one I really remember is the Flash because he's super strong and super naked.
All of them
Oh,
were
and
so good.
Meltman.
I love Meltman. Just
With the power to melt.
just the fact that all he is a melted toy. That's it. Meltman was one of my favorites.
I enjoyed it. I did.
But it's very obvious that Action League Now and Prometheus and Bob was really their heavy hitters in this, because they ran, I think, for the majority of all four seasons.
Ran all 4 seasons.
Yeah. I'll go and tell you what, Life with Loopy sucked. I hated that show. I think it was the animation.
That's the one of the cardboard cutout ones, right?
Yeah, it was like
That's
watching.
why I didn't like Angela Anaconda. I still can't.
Oh, I don't understand why out of all the shows you give that one a, like, you try doing a spinoff of that one. Out of all the shows, you pick that one. But hey,
I will say that Life with Luffy did British-born Stephen Holman, and this sounds like something we're going to cover anyway one day, but he was able to... He created some stuff on Liquid Television, but he also created Phantom Investigators on Kids WB.
If it's on Kids WB, it probably sucks.
Oh yeah, Kids WB had a lot of nothing.
Oh God,
they're not even showing up to the fight. There's going to be like 5 of them.
Yeah,
they're like Mucha Lucha. They're like, shut up,
shut up,
kid.
Kids WB.
Them Cartoon Network kids are just like foaming at the mouth, just fucking ready. Nickelodeon kids are like, we should be like Hey Arnold and find a different way. And like, I'm fucking you up first.
Yeah. Cartoon Network kids, they've just been drinking Soge, cola.
They're all the white. If you're a white monster man, you know what I'm talking about. If you fit the stereotype of a white monster man, you're a Cartoon Network kid for sure. White monsters aren't my favorite, but I check a lot of them boxes. In fact, I feel like the only box I don't check is the fact I don't enjoy white monsters.
What would be the color monster for Nickelodeon kids?
They don't drink them. They drink tea. They drink safe caffeine.
Oh, ouch.
They're like, I have a fucking. They're iced coffee. They're the iced coffee crew.
And then Kids WB kids
with almond milk.
Just drinking water.
Kids WB kids are unemployed. They don't fucking need to. They don't need the energy to.
They're just drinking water. That's it.
They're drinking water. They probably turned out fine because their fucking brain wasn't rotted with cartoons. They're like, this isn't for me. I'm gonna go study.
That's all the good cartoons I get. Oh, never mind. I'd rather go do homework.
I'd rather do homework. Yeah. They, in a way, they're better than all of us.
Behind every doctor, every valedictorian.
Every doctor, there's a Kids WB kid who was like, nah. I don't want to watch this series about kids in detention. Or whatever the fuck. Yeah.
I'm going to see what's on TLC right now.
Yeah, I'm going to see. Yeah. I'm gonna watch
Open heart surgery.
Channel.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You remember when TLC...
And that kid grew up to be Albert Einstein.
Do you remember when TLC, that's used to be all they would show?
Was the Learning Channel?
Yeah.
And it was the Turner Learning Channel. Another Ted Turner.
And all they would show, I swear, was like surgery videos. That's it.
And now, they kind of do now. With them fat ass bitches sisters, the fat fuck sisters, whatever that show's called.
1,000-pound sisters.
Yeah, fatty 2x4.
You know they've
fit
lost
through the front door. Yeah, they look like they melted.
Yeah,
is what they look like.
Melt man. Melt man in the flesh.
The melt woman twins. I could not watch that show without being viscerally angry.
Oh yeah, I can't.
Fattest one, because you would think that the 1,000-pound sisters, it would be an even split. You know, one's 500, the other one's 500, but it was actually like one was like 650 and the other one was like 350. One of them was fat. One of them was like, I gotta make a change, and then the other one was like, I can't stand without heavy breathing.
Yep.
And it's just like, But we're not okay. We're gonna move on from that.
Let's.
But we're going to move to your new reoccurring segment, Revenge.
Revenge of the reviews.
Reviews that go KaBlam and reviews that go Kaboink. Kaboink.
So this is sitting at a 7.8 out of 10 out of 3,100 ratings.
That makes sense.
Could not find anything lower than a 7.
Okay.
But everybody has a lot to say about this show. So
A lot of paragraphs.
I'm going to read. This is a 10 out of 10 review called one of the top 5 Nicktoons ever. I'm going to just read you the last paragraph in this man's novel. Okay?
Wow. How many paragraphs are we talking?
4
We had to
paragraphs.
count 'em. 4?
Yep.
Jesus.
I know.
That's an English paper.
In conclusion, I think KaBlam is one of the most original, funniest, and most likable shows ever produced. Not just in the cartoon world, but in general. It makes me wish I had a time machine so I could see these old great shows again. Nickelodeon needs to get their shit together and release it on DVD. Well, my friend, guess what? You can now find it online.
You can, because physical media is dead.
Yep. That review
Not that I'm a
was
fan of that, but
from 2008, Andrew.
oh, well, if you're still alive, lots happen.
Maybe you don't like it anymore. Yeah. Who knows?
Or yeah, he could have got hit by a bus. We don't know. But if you're still alive and you really want to watch it, it's on Paramount Plus.
I know. Maybe he's in prison. Can you get Paramount
I don't
Plus?
think you get streaming in prison.
They can get phones in prison.
Surely not. Streaming services? How do you connect to the internet?
How
Well,
do
I guess
they
they
connect?
get phones. They can get on Facebook.
Yeah.
I
How do they
suppose
get on TikTok?
How do you get the? How do you get the money to pay for the streaming service?
Well, see,
You can't use your little green card thing that they give you.
No, see, your sister's ex-boyfriend's cousin is letting you borrow his login information.
You'd almost have to.
Yeah, that's it. But that's
That
it.
would
for the
be funny
reviews.
if prisoners could use their the card that their outside family puts money on to pay for Netflix.
I can see it now. Like you
Uncle
pick
Dan,
up that phone.
please! I really want to finish Stranger Things. I got a life sentence. You don't know what it's like in here.
That's the only thing keeping me going in here is to find out what
Only
happens.
thing I have left.
What happens to these kids? I need
That
to
are
know.
now adults. Well, do you have another review, or are we going to wrap
No,
this up?
that is it. Like I said, there was no low reviews. That's the shortest review I can give you.
Well, Joel, I guess that wraps up KaBlam.
KaBlam! Could
My
thank you,
closing
Andrew.
thoughts are could thank you, Joel, and could thank you, John, for suggesting this show.
Could thanks.
I hope you and your goth girlfriend are listening in your bed, snuggled up with one another, and you're like, I'm so happy that they covered this show. Let's bone. This one's on me, big guy.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Little guy, big guy. We don't know.
Little guy, big guy. We don't know. Anywho, yeah, my closing thoughts for this show is just whatever one you liked, just type it in on YouTube and watch it. Unless you have Paramount Plus, and then I guess you could watch it. But
I agree. Hey, just filter through like a couple
I
of
might
episodes.
watch some more Prometheus and Bob tonight.
Oh, I'm watching some Action League now. That show is so great.
But excuse me, sorry, we're recording pretty late.
Yes.
But if you would like to support this show and all of the ridiculousness that it implies, you can go to patreon.com/cartoondd. There we have a $5 tier that gets you stickers and pins mailed to your door, extended audio episodes. We mainly talk about food, and bonus episodes. We should get more up there when we have the time to record them.
Yep.
You can go to our website for a regular request. The Patreon's where you get the mega request. There's cartoondumpsterdive.com. We are working on switching stores. So
Hang
when
tight.
that happens, we'll let you know. It's gonna take. It's not gonna take much doing, but it's gonna take some doing. We have a Twitter and a Blue Sky, both Cartoon DD. We are Cartoon Dumpster Dive everywhere else. As always, we appreciate a 5-star review on the podcasting platform of your choice. It always helps out the show, so we don't have to be on an anthology podcast.
Yeah?
Actually, that might be fun. If you have an anthology podcast, let us on. Anyway,
Please.
have a great rest of your week.
See ya.
And as always, we appreciate a podcast review on the pod. Fuck, I fucked that up.
So close.
This has been a Lugho podcast.